I've trained calisthenics for 10 years. I've solely focused on strength. But what's on the other side? What can we learn from endurance? This is my journey to running a 70-kilometer ultramarathon in Japan. Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 53 of Road to Shimanami. And today, well, there's gonna be a bit of a mix in the workout between skills and endurance-based workouts, or I guess volume workouts. So first of all, I'm gonna do some one-arm planche, and then in the later half, I'll be doing some pull-ups. But I got a question from a viewer the other day asking if endurance will make you strong. And short answer, yes, it will make you strong. It will make you stronger than a regular human who doesn't train at all. But will it get you elite level strength? No, it will not, because elite level strength, that's like when you're looking at calisthenics, people doing 30 seconds of planche or 30 front lever pull-ups, or when you look at the gym, benching more than 200 kilos, deadlifting 400 kilos, like insane numbers, right? And while you will get stronger just doing endurance, you will not get to those elite levels because that would require specific training. In order to get the strongest possible, do strength training. In order to get the best endurance possible, do endurance training. That's basically what you can expect, right? But they both have a bit of carryover into each other. And if you're happy with being relatively strong, but also just having the capacity to keep going, I think calisthenics endurance is a very good choice for you, because guess what? Once you start being able to do hundreds of dips and pull-ups and squats and burpees and all of those things in like a cardio-based workout, for example, EMOM style, one set every minute on a minute, it's cardio, it's strength, and it just gives you a huge capacity to, like a huge reservoir of energy to spend, right? And it like I was talking about battery capacity of like a human, right? One of the earlier trainings, that's what you get when you do calisthenics endurance, right? Your capacity to spend energy will be enormous, and it will carry over into strength and carry over into endurance. And yeah, that's why I quite like it. That's why I've been doing it a bit more than usual lately. But for today, let's just get started with the planche workout. Woo! Nice. Ah, fuck. All right, moving on to planche. Feeling weak, but I want a strong stimulus, so I put on some hype music from Scars. Make sure to check out the horsing playlist on my channel if you want some music. But let's get this set done. First a hold, and then some push-ups. That's one set done. I think I'm gonna do one more hold and press set, and then one floor set. Whew. Alright. Okie dokie, so that's gonna be it for the planche. Today was a bit of dirty volume work, I guess, for at least a couple sets. I didn't really do a lot of sets, but in the sets that I did, I kind of went longer than I usually do. So today is a bit of a dirty volume day. It's gonna be so for the pull-ups as well. But next week, when I'm a bit more resting, or I'm gonna do a bit of a forced deload, I'll explain more why later on. But in those times, deload, right? You don't want to go too heavy, too hard, too intense, and that's the perfect opportunity to take a step back and do some technique work, lighter sets, but better quality. And both of those, it's not like one is better than the other, right? It's just two different tools that you use for two different purposes. When I'm doing these volume sets, I'm trying to surpass my limit, I'm trying to become stronger. And when I do the technique work, then I try to use the strength that I have to basically execute my planche better and more efficiently. But yeah, that's something for next week. Now let's just get started with the pull-up. So I have 20 kilos hanging under my, well, let's not make it explicit. I have 20 kilos hanging from my hip, and I'm gonna do some pull-ups, hopefully 20 reps for a couple sets, but let's see what happens. Okie dokie, that's a good bit of fatigue that I'm feeling right now in my entire upper body because I've been destroying myself a little bit too much this week, but hey, at least I had fun. Let's see if I can get the legs in as well. Do a quick pose. Yeah, I'm feeling good, but my chest is still sore from the dips on Wednesday, my triceps as well. My rear delts are cooked from the pull-ups yesterday and today. So are my lats. My shoulders are done from the planche. nothing has been spared, but I think that's a good thing. So, time for some rest, although not this weekend. As I mentioned last week, or yeah, I guess last week on Sunday after the half marathon, I was planning on doing 2 days in a row, 30 kilometers of running this weekend. And my heel is still hurting a little bit, although it's feeling better, but I do want to give myself a shot. Originally, I was just gonna go somewhere, do a 30-kilometer tour, like course, but instead, what I'm gonna do is tomorrow, I'm gonna do my usual 10-kilometer course, and then every time I get back home, I'm gonna have some food. I'm gonna practice eating while running. I'm gonna have some water, and if I feel okay, I'm gonna do another 10 kilometer. So basically, every 10 kilometers, I have a checkpoint. I can see how my heel is doing, and I can, give myself a shot at least at the 30 kilometers. So I got everything prepared. I got some sandwiches. I've got some drinks with electrolytes in them, and so at least everything is in place to do 30 kilometers. And it's just, I'm gonna check if my heel is okay, and base the amount of distance I will do off of that. So at least 10 kilometers, hopefully 30, but it's going to be in checkpoints of 10 kilometers. And if all goes well, if my heel doesn't hurt anymore after that, then the day after tomorrow, on Sunday, I'll be heading out for some trails. Probably do something similar where I have a checkpoint where I can go to my car every so many kilometers and get some altitude as well, Well, it's Belgium, so it's not going to be at altitude, but at least there's going to be some height differential on the course, and my calves are going to be feeling it. If, of course, I can survive tomorrow, but one day at a time, not only just one day at a time, 10 kilometers at a time, and well, every 10 kilometers, it's 1 kilometer at a time, one step at a time when it comes down to it. So let's just take it bit by bit, not get ahead of ourselves, and just survive what is coming at our faces. But anyway, that's why probably this weekend there will not be that much resting involved, at least not for the lower body. But next week is gonna probably be a forced deload so that we can rest up. And well, we have basically spent our energy this week, right? Or we're gonna spend our energy this week. We're gonna like push our body to the limits, and when you're pushing your body to the limit, that's not when it's getting stronger, but it does get stronger afterwards when you allow it to recover. As you know, work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. The last two are going to be extra important, well, this weekend too, because I want to handle my training, but especially next week when I'm heading for full recovery again. But yeah, that's going to be very fun to look forward to. So I'll see you tomorrow for hopefully 30 kilometers.